Today, the Biden administration extended a federal moratorium on evictions through the end of June. There are no major changes to the rules, which, as John Yang reports, can be complicated and confusing for judges, for landlords, and the tenants behind on their rent.
Right now, Ricky Yule would rather be anywhere but here, waiting for an eviction hearing.
I'm down here trying to fight my case.
Are you nervous, anxious?
Well, yes, of course. I'm like one step away from being outside. So yes, I am.
When the pandemic shut things down last spring, Yule lost his job as a restaurant sous chef. No money to pay the rent on his small one-bedroom apartment. Last month, the landlord filed an eviction notice because the property manager said Yule never reached out to explain. He's one of about 9.5 million Americans, 17% of U.S. renters, who are behind on their rent, according to the Census Bureau. In 2017, that figure was only about 6% of renters.
It will be the truth as you shall answer to God.
Yule and about 100 other tenants are scheduled to plead their cases before a Franklin County judge at the Columbus Convention Center, home to the county's eviction court since last June when it reopened after pausing at the start of the pandemic. Most cases are decided within minutes.
There is a eviction moratorium in place. So why are we here in an eviction court in Franklin County, Ohio, that sees an average of 100 cases a day?
There's a pretty big misunderstanding about what this eviction moratorium is.
Columbus legal aid attorney Joshu Tsushima says the CDC's moratorium only prevents landlords from actually evicting tenants for failure to pay rent, not from filing eviction notices, which can permanently blemish someone's financial record. And he says the rules are far from clear.
Even between different magistrates and judges in our own court, they interpret it differently. So part of that's due to a lack of legal clarity in the definitions of the terms of the CDC moratorium.
For tenants facing an eviction order, it can be baffling.
You know, if the tenant's fortunate enough to get an attorney, say through legal aid, then we can help them take those steps and make sure they're in a situation to ask for the moratorium. But for a lot of other tenants who don't talk to an attorney beforehand, they have no idea. A lot of them just end up moving out of their properties.
To qualify for protection from eviction, a tenant has to show they stopped paying rent because they lost income due to the pandemic.
And that can be pretty intimidating for a lot of tenants because essentially it's an inquiry into them being poor.
While it doesn't protect them from having to pay back rent, it qualifies them for federal rental assistance to take care of it. Those programs are administered by housing aid and poverty groups who are on hand here at the convention center to help tenants while they wait for their hearings.
Some say it's a double-edged sword. Some tenants may be more likely to make their court dates knowing that help is here. But at the same time, some landlords may be more likely to file eviction notices knowing that if they get their tenants here, they'll get their money.
That is the catch-22 that we're trying to work around.
Bo Chilton is CEO of Impact Community Action, an anti-poverty group that distributes rental assistance in Franklin County.
Once you get that eviction filing on your record, you become part of a class of unrentables. With that eviction on your record, it is very difficult to find housing here in Central Ohio.
That's why Chilton encourages landlords to help their tenants apply for rental assistance instead of filing for eviction. Some landlords already do just that and more. Even though a majority of tenants at this complex on Columbus's north side are behind on rent, eviction notices are rare.
Hey, Mr. Gibbs, it's Rachel in the rental office.
That's because property manager Rachel Blubaugh works hard to find them help.
I search at home. When I'm not at work, I spend a lot of time on the internet looking for resources. Sometimes I go through and print up a little sheet of places for like food, healthcare, or whatever they need, print it out and deliver it to their doors.
I mean, it sounds like you're as much a sort of social worker almost than...
Somewhat, yes.
Is that how you feel sometimes?
Yes, but it's our community. If we don't take an interest, then nobody else is going to.
It takes time that some small landlords say they don't have and can't afford. While some may qualify for COVID mortgage relief, many say that without reliable rent payments coming in, they can't keep up with insurance, property taxes, and maintenance. That's why nationwide landlords are still filing for evictions for non-payment every day. Like the coronavirus itself, the fallout is harder on people of color.
Eviction has always disproportionately affected Black households higher than any other rate, and that trend has continued through the pandemic.
Emily Benford teaches health justice at the Wake Forest University Law School.
Black households, they are 2 times as likely to be evicted, and the result of this is health inequity among people of color, because we know that the people who are most vulnerable to eviction are also the most likely to suffer health conditions that would place them at high risk of complications and mortality if they contracted COVID-19.
Back at the convention center, Ricky Yule's legal aid attorney resolves his case before his hearing even begins.
What just happened here?
Great news. Well, the impact service that was representing me in the case, they're going to pay my rent. So here's proof of that.
And the key word here is plaintiff shall dismiss this case.
That's right, absolutely, people.
So it sounds like everything's been wrapped up.
It turns out Yule misunderstood how many months of back rent rental assistance would cover.
Were you not aware that you could have applied for all of it?
No, because I'd never been in this position before. I was always paying my rent, and never been in this position before. So, it takes a lot of people, it throws a lot of people for a loop.
And now that he's up to date on rent, he's confident he can keep up his payments from here.
Now that jobs are opening back up again, I can finally go out here and try to find me some work or something like that.
So you just needed this help to get out of the hole?
Absolutely. It was like you throwing a rope in the hole and pulling me out.
And now that you're back on level ground, you're okay. You can carry on from here.
Yes, I'm not in the quicksand anymore.
A lifeline, just in the nick of time. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm John Yang in Columbus, Ohio.